Imagine this. It's June 6th, 1944. The beaches of Normandy are exploding with chaos. Allied soldiers are storming the sand, bullets flying, and machine guns raining down from bunkers above. But suddenly, something massive rolls off one of the landing crafts. Not a Sherman, not a Churchill, but a modern M1 Abrams tank. The soldiers freeze. The Germans panic. It's like a UFO just joined the war. So, what if a modern tank actually fought at D-Day? Let's set the scene. D-Day, the largest amphibious invasion in history. Over 150,000 Allied troops, thousands of ships, and more than 6,000 tanks and vehicles, all pushing to break through Hitler's defenses. Now, tanks back then were impressive for their time. The M4 Sherman, the Churchill, and the German Tiger. But they were also slow, lightly armored by modern standards, and their guns? They'd struggle to even scratch today's tank armor. Now enter the M1 Abrams, a 70-ton beast from the future. It can move at 45 miles per hour, hit targets 2 miles away while moving, and its armor can shrug off almost anything from World War II. In short, this thing is a time-traveling boss fight dropped into 1944. So, how would it perform if it rolled into D-Day? First, the landing. The modern tank's turbine engine roars as it powers down a landing craft. The sound alone, like a jet mixed with thunder, makes both Allied and German soldiers stop mid-battle. The Abrams rolls onto the sand and immediately starts returning fire. Its 120mm smoothbore cannon firing explosive shells that tear through bunkers like they're made of paper. German MG-42 machine guns? Worthless. Their bullets bounce off like rain on glass. Even anti-tank guns, those 88mm cannons that terrified Sherman crews, can barely dent the Abrams armor. In just a few minutes, the Abrams clears entire pillboxes and machine gun nests. The Allies behind it start cheering. The beach, once a nightmare, suddenly looks winnable. But here's the twist. The Abrams isn't invincible. It burns jet fuel, something that didn't exist in 1944. The Allies only have gasoline and diesel. Once its fuel runs out, that tank becomes an expensive beach sculpture. And let's not forget communication. Its modern encrypted radio systems would have no one to talk to. It's completely alone. Still, for the first few hours, it's unstoppable. The Germans, seeing their defenses crumble, scramble everything they've got. Panzer IVs, Tigers, artillery, all firing at this mysterious metal monster. The Abrams shrugs it off and returns fire with surgical precision. Each shot finds its target. Entire tank divisions vanish under its firepower. The Allies, inspired by this futuristic miracle, push forward faster than planned. By noon, they could have captured far more ground. Maybe even turned D-Day from a brutal grind into a lightning-fast breakthrough. Now imagine the psychological effect. Every army officer, every scientist, both Allied and German, would want to capture this mystery weapon. If the Germans somehow recovered the wreckage, they'd spend years trying to reverse engineer it. They'd examine its armor, its computer systems, its targeting, completely beyond their technology. And even if they managed to learn just a little, say, about composite armor or heat-seeking munitions, it could completely change the course of post-war weapons research. World War II might end faster or drag on longer, depending on who learns from it first. But the truth is, without the materials, factories, or computers of the late 20th century, they could never replicate it. It would be a ghost from the future, something to inspire scientists for decades. So in the end, the modern tank would change D-Day, but not the entire war. It could lead the charge, crush defenses, and save thousands of lives, until it ran out of fuel or broke down with no spare parts in sight. Then it would sit there, silent and indestructible, as both sides try to understand what it was. It would become a legend, a story whispered among soldiers, the iron beast that won the beach. And maybe, just maybe, it would speed up humanity's drive toward the next generation of military technology. So what do you think? Could a single modern tank have turned the tide of D-Day forever, or would history still find a way to balance itself out? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. And hey, if you enjoyed this mix of science, imagination, and history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Because next time, we're asking, what if a fighter jet from today took on the Red Baron?